Hello and welcome back to we don't even know what this community even is, because it split, it rejoined, it split again, but that's not the point. We are back with some Formula 3 racing with backmarkers F1. My name is Ilya, this one as usual is Matt.
Hi guys, we're sponsored by Peniston Oils.
Of course we are. And today we are joined by
Speaking of Peniston.
part of Calamari and Chips racing team, which is
Hi.
surprisingly not racing.
I have 8 legs.
Great start. Thanks everyone. Really appreciate it. So the first race of the season is gonna be at Spa-Francorchamps, one of the rare good tracks on the calendar. Next week we're at Paul Ricard, that's why I'm slightly salty. The race length will be 40 minutes plus half a lap because server does not want to be set up correctly.
Yes, blame Kunos for that one. It's meant to be 40 minutes, then one lap after the time expires, but yeah, it decided, no, we're not going to do that right now, we're just going to mess you up. But yeah, as Ilya said, Spa-Francorchamps, a good track. We have Macau coming up to another good track, and some stuff in the middle. VR is pretty good.
Basically, Formula 3 cars, this is open wheel category which is new for us as we go to the starting grid, and I will explain everything later because I'm good at timing. Sharky takes the pole, surprise, surprise, and JK, the other alien, is completing row 1.
Smart Pipe and Mr. Bob will make up row 2. No surprises there.
Then on row 3 we have Piker and Meister Project.
Row 4 is Trempel from Audi Motorsport and the Holy Moose.
Georgian and somebody whose name I didn't see make up the 5th row.
Row 6 is Neon Tiger and Agent Mulder.
Followed
God
by
help us.
Carl BC200 and Matt, the other one.
The other Matt, Echo 51 and Viperion make up the row behind them.
In 17th is Nemedis and 18th is Source.
And the last row of the grid will be G-Man and Potato Head John, who lost his teammate early on.
Yeah, our team is off to a great start. My computer exploded in a blaze of glory, and my teammate died in qualifying. I don't even think he's in our car, actually.
No, he actually stole a car from Gunses for this weekend.
Yeah. That's...
I was wondering when I saw that on the grid, but then I'm like, no, maybe I'm just seeing things because I had other things I was thinking about at the time. As we see, Sharky, is this going to be his pole lap?
I don't know, it's one of his laps. I didn't bother enough.
Professionals. Well, we can all see how you're supposed to take this track as opposed to how we were all taking this track.
Actually, Petty Thief is a common theme this weekend because I believe Sharky's teammate for this weekend, Piker, also stole a car from Gemknight, who was not able to launch the game because, of course, Kunos.
Yeah, Kunos doing what Kunos does. We see a very unrealistic... the alcohol's already affecting me. A very unrealistic sight of a Honda going around under power.
In the lead, more so.
Yeah, even more so, yeah.
Well, then on the other hand, we have in second place an MRT, so it's not that unlikely.
Basically,
Fair
the
enough.
most unrealistic racing series ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have open wheel category in this league for the first time, basically. So this is the whole new page of racing for us. Whole different concept of actually having downforce and close fights and actually seeing where your wheels are. For most of the
Yeah,
people.
it's interesting. It's not been since the Miata days that we've had a single make category. So it'll definitely be interesting. Driver plays a lot into it, hence why, well, it doesn't really matter. Shark is always up there with JK. But we'll see. Anything can happen, and usually does with our series. It's good to have open wheel racing, though. It's something that's been missing for a long time, and we are kind of afraid to do it for quite a while, just because of the shenaniganry, let's say, that gets up to on a grid with us in it.
That's a kind word. You pick that. I would have picked a much stronger one.
It's the only one you'll hear all race. Trust me. The more the alcohol sets in, the worse it's gonna get.
Basically,
I just gotta say that it's impressive that Smart Pipe got third place.
Yes.
yeah, got instantly robbed of it thanks to Kunos. Spoilers, he crashed while gridding, and he will start the race from a pit lane. Because
He's our very own Pascal Wehrlein, except for Wehrlein will never see third in his career because he's useless.
Well, he's a Mercedes prodigy, so maybe they'll put him in an OP car, and he'll see a podium at some point.
With Bottas and Hamilton, unless Hamilton pulls a Rosberg and decides I'm out. We'll see about that, but that's Formula One. That's for a broadcast that we always plan but never do.
I'm ready whenever, mate. Either way, we have lights, and we're about to go racing for 40 minutes. 4 lights, 5 lights. The cars are about to leave the grid for the first race of the Formula 3 season. We have green lights, 19 cars start the race in a cloud of smoke, streaming 2 wide, 3 wide, even 4 wide back there towards La Source. No major wreckage as of yet. Some cars are using an exceptionally wide route to avoid carnage right there. I think we're most up to a clean getaway. There is 1 car spun back there. After La Source, cars are running towards Rouge and Radillon for the first time. No 2 wides just yet. People are being sensible for once.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. A bit of a scruffy-looking start for some, but then everything seemed to get away mostly smoothly as we're getting 3 and maybe even 4 wide back there. Sharkey maintains the lead with Jackie having dropped from the start. That's a bit of a surprise. We see him down there in 4th. Mr. Bob had gone around, and Piker and Jackie touches a little bit. And who's this off the track? No, God.
Holy Moose is around and around once more. Trempe left the track. And rejoined in a questionable fashion, collecting a couple of people.
Yeah.
This is a good start for the race. We're barely 4 corners in, and already we have a bit of carnage. Most of the cars are continuing on, however, the 2 backmarkers cars glued to each other. Surprise, surprise, followed by Carl PC, who's taken Puon a little bit too wide, but no major drama as of yet. As we see the replays from the start.
Yeah, we're getting a replay there. You see the blank grid slot where, rest in pieces. So everyone seems to get away fairly cleanly and equally. No major movers and shakers early on. And then we have a 4 wide there funneling into the source. We have a little bit of contact there. Nothing too major, it doesn't seem. Oops.
That's what happened to the spun car.
That's unhealthy. Here we get a C from Here we get a C from JK. We'll see what brought him all the way down to 4th after the start. A little bit of a wiggle there on his wheel and gets away a little bit slower than Sharky, but not too much. The secondary part of the start was good. And let's see, Sharky covering the inside line, JK funneling in. He has a car on his inside though, which I'm assuming is going to overtake him now. Gets a little bit off. How did he lose 2 positions out of this?
Just safe. I assume Camel Straight is just that OP in downforce cars. Here we see my on board from turn 1 at La Source, and a little bit of a torpedo moment right there.
Oh, yeah. You Marzined him.
No, he survived, so it wasn't a Marzin.
Oh, alright.
And here's a view from myself. Get a decent start, get a little bit of a draft, go for an overtake, start going, think maybe I could pick 1 more off. Nope, and then I get torpedoed myself. So 1 back markers gave a torpedo, 1 received a torpedo, but carried on our wayward sons. There'll be peace when you were done.
There's Neon Tiger who was behind that slight torpedo movement right there. You did cut him a little bit there.
I did, but didn't expect him to come flying up my inside, to be honest, in the corner. Everyone had been slowing down at that point, and yeah. I had to turn in for the corner. Didn't expect someone to take a dive bomb. But, shit happens. Beginning of the race. No harm, no foul, as it were.
There are a lot of black liveries. This is a very emo field.
When you started saying that, I was wondering what the 4th word of that was. There are a lot of... Okay, 6th word.
Oh, we see, I think it's Viperian showing a little bit of elbows in true Aussie fashion. No, I will not stop telling that joke. Shoving Matt a little bit wide, and then Matt in attempt to rejoin.
That was a bad rejoin.
Catch a bit of AstroTurf, which spun him into source, or did he just drive there?
That curb is very notoriously hard to get back up and over once you get on the left side of it. I'd have to see it again, but oops.
And that's what sent Trempel flying off the track. Slight touch of wheels with Maestro. He takes escape route and flies back on track. And Moose, yeah, he did absolutely nothing wrong and just got pummeled.
Yeah, I don't really know what Moose did there. It's just like he decided to brake very early, basically.
Yeah, being the car that pummeled Moose, you can see there. I had already taken evasive action because of that, and then all of a sudden, Moose is like 20 miles an hour slower than everyone else going in the corner. I really didn't know what was going on at that point. So yeah, I guess so. Sorry that you got spun there, Moose, but I don't know what else I could have done.
Basically, way too many cars for one corner at the same time. It was.
Well, basically, in this series, we've learned early on that having 2 cars on the same track is a bad idea. So you can only imagine what happens when there are 20 cars on the same track.
Basically, we see a little
19,
bit of,
basically.
The 20th is about to join. We see Psychedelics, after not the best of a qualifying session, trying to get his way back up, complete an overtake on Source for 15th position, all the way down the grid. This is one of the Audi Motorsport cars, which I assume are running OP hybrid at this point.
Yeah, they have to have some sort of ERS or KERS or DERS or whatever they call it these days. We get,
oh shit!
Oops!
Whoa!
Oops.
Whatever it was, it did not stop him from spinning there, as he reverses out to the way.
Heads up driving there, smart move. Just get out of the way before shit hits the fan.
Whoa!
Oops.
Okay then.
It would appear as though the Raspberries met the Yuktabangians.
God.
And then the wall. Oh my. Honey, you need to get that sorted out.
Oh, as we see Viperia catching up to 2 cars that were a part of that track, and that's all streaming towards Eau Rouge. This is not the greatest of combos. But Carl slows down to allow a little bit. Heads up, this is an editing fuck up, but I was too lazy to fix it, so we're gonna see Matt spinning twice.
Woohoo! Yep. Went into that corner, got a little bit early on the gas, I think. To be honest, I've never had the car be so unstable in this last corner as I did this race. You'll see a lot of...
see it again.
Yeah! You know, I have a feeling that you just wanted to show my fuck up twice and just be like, look, Matt, you're a toss. Which
Possibly.
I am, but, you know.
Possibly. To be honest,
Here we see penetration.
I don't know. This was not good. And then as he was rejoined, he just lost it to AstroTurf. These cars, despite having tiny engines and being incredibly small, they do pack a lot of torque. So if you try to accelerate fast on a loose surface, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit of a surprise, but then again, it's lighter than an F1 car, simpler, not as much electronics, hydraulics, and other mess. Not quite turbo sort of levels of torque, but high enough that you can get yourself loose, as you saw me do, and as you just saw him do after running up your ass, basically. Ooh, we have a bit of knife fighting here going on between the Australian and the Russian. I'm not sure if that's ever happened historically, but it is now. Is that a slow car?
It was a little bit slow. I think that's Carl again, and Source is attempting an overtake around the outside, which will become the inside for the next turn if he is able to hold it. Nope, not quite yet, as Carl gave his all to keep the position going incredibly wide, as does Nemadius. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle that probably gave Code Brown for Potato over there, as we have 2 teammates from Eau de Baguette. Oh, touching wheels.
Touching.
Okay. Citroen Racing takes no prisoners.
Well, they're French. You can't take any prisoners if you're not fighting a war.
No, they usually won't be taken.
In what way? Actually, never mind. As we see a battle going on right now between the 2 Ace Combat nerds of this channel, looks like the draft is going to win the day. Draft OOP.
Well, this car is actually half downforce, so with that and some draft. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's Neon Tiger. That's Neon Tiger taking an entirely new way to go through Blanchimon. As Nemadius blocks locks his front wheel, goes
What a dive bomb.
a drifter, but completes the pass on his teammate.
Verstappen overtake.
As we see a whole gaggle of cars streaming towards La Source, but we're gonna watch it after a couple of replays. That's Potato and Neon, and that's what happened to Neon. Kinda lost the car on the inside and bounced off Potato.
Was that lag, or what happened there?
Looked a bit laggy.
It's either
looked
lag
like-
or
yeah.
Neon just didn't notice the car on his outside.
Well, he was turning in, then he stopped turning all of a sudden. I don't know what that looked weird. That didn't look like a Neon mistake. That looked like something went wrong with either his wheel or the connection.
That was not the greatest of moves from Source, I gotta say. He
It
buzzed
was
the
shaping up
both.
to be, and then it ruined itself at the end.
Oh, we have a lot of smoke, and I'm diving inside of two cars, and
Oops.
somebody is spinning out of La Source, one of the Apex Predator racing cars. We have too wide, too deep, going towards a Rouge. This is not bound to end well.
Well,
Cars.
everyone funnels back into single file, so it does end well. So there goes your commentary train. Boom.
Is your car powered by Dacia?
Dacia? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're Dacia racing.
No
Dacia.
wonder you're in 12th.
Oh shit! Shots fired. Also, note, I qualified in 12th, got up to 7th, spun, went back down, and am now back up to 7th.
I qualified 9th, got spun around all the way to 14th, and now back to 11th. So this was
But it's-
quite a race for us.
Yeah, it's very clear to see whether it's damage or skill, probably a mix of both, primarily the latter. The top 6 of, well, usual suspects plus Mr. Bob and Trempale, they've always been quick, but I wouldn't say that they've
Speaking
been at
of
the very top.
6, that's Maestro
Oops.
Ponchik and Trempel jigging it out in the S's side by side through the entire thing. Trempel comes out slightly ahead, and that's Smart Pie behind them. He's actually a lap down.
Yeah, Maestro with the, this car is banned in Chechnya livery.
This car is probably better than most regions in the world.
I wonder
No comment.
how did Smart Pipe end up a lap behind? Because I know he had to start from the pits, but surely he shouldn't have lost the whole lap.
He did not start when the green flag waved. He started about 50 seconds later from pits. He took some time to reconnect, so he basically
Yeah, his
lost
computer.
2 minutes.
Effed him.
We have Potato and one of the Raspberries cars fighting it out. That would be for 8th place. That was G-Man. As we go right back to the battle up here, Smart Pipe is not taking any prisoners, actually looking to attack Mastery here and unlap himself.
Yeah, I remember, this, sounds a little bit like something that happened with Senna back in the day. Lap car just wanted to unlap himself and up the lead car like, yeah, are you sure you want to do that, buddy? So this could be an interesting battle. It looks like, Ponchik, let's see. He's only a second behind Trempale, so he really doesn't want this happening right now. He wants to be able to attack Trempale without worrying about a lapped car coming up his ass.
Smart Pipe is actually going for it on the inside. Maestro would need to hope for a little bit of tow from Trample up ahead. That does happen. Smart Pipe slots right back in for now.
Smart Pipe, I think, backed out of that one. He had the advantage. I think he's trying his best to not interfere with the race while still keeping competitive. As we see a bit of a gap now forming between myself and the chasing pack, and between myself and the leading pack. There really are 2 packs here.
Now, cars looking for an overtake in the most common place.
Oops.
Oh, that's Echo in the wall at what the hell is the name of the turn?
It's a turn. It exists. Move on.
Basically, yes.
Professionals!
Thank you. We're good at that. Yeah,
Oh, there's
Echo-
an Amazon Prime thing on right now.
Wait, what? What are you talking about exactly?
I'm going shopping. No. Speaking of things that go shopping, we have Moose.
What the fuck is that transition?
I don't know. Fuck all of you. Why am I here? What is the purpose of this? Shut up!
Don't have an existential crisis on me, okay? We need a race to commentate. as Moose is trying to race G-Man before the latter just decides to have a trip
Oh shit!
into the gravel trap.
That was not a nice rejoin. As we get a replay.
That's what happened to Echo. Yeah, just lost it on a curb
Yeah.
and tank slapped into the wall.
It is hard with these cars. Some curbs, it's been said earlier, some of these curbs you need to hit to go fast. Some of them you need to avoid to stay alive. And with the way the wind was in this race, sometimes those curbs changed from session to session over practice and into the race. So
Yeah, that's what happened to G-Man right there. He locked his front right tire, got onto the gravel. Oh, actually spun it coming out of there.
Yeah, it seems those AstroTurfs really let your car spin. It's the same thing that happens with was it Source early in the race?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's an overtake into Blanc Shimon on the inside. That's an innocent place to overtake. Definitely, as there's barely space for two cars. You see clouds of smoke ahead as well.
Did I spin again? I don't remember.
Probably.
I think I only had one spin and then a couple
Whoa,
of oops.
speaking of, that's Viperion doing the same thing.
A very nice green color. I just wish you were pointing in the right direction. There we go. As the vulgar Martian livery car.
That's someone in the pits.
That's Psychedelics in the pit lane. He had an encounter with the wall out of the no-name corner. Maybe some damage on his car because of that, or before that, which caused him to kiss the wall there. So he's definitely gonna go ahead and pit to repair the damage. As yeah.
Does this series have mandatory pit stops?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's something that was debated sort of early on, simply because with the tires and the time frame that we have racing, you really don't need to pit, nor do they actually in real F3. There was discussion whether or not we should artificially, a little bit out of shape there, whether we should artificially provoke that with tire wear, but I think it was decided against. So really, pit stops are only going to be in special circumstances or under damage load. There's also only one compounded tire. They modeled 3 in the mod, I think, but only activated 1. So there really is no strategy to be had.
So they basically copied exactly how poor Formula 3 is. They can't exactly afford pit crews there either, so that's exactly what's happening in Formula 3, guys. As Apex Predator guys looking for the inside into the Blanc Shimon. That's Smart by planning an overtake on Maestro and completing the overtake in a nice manner.
Yep, a good move, well planned, well executed.
Whoa, instantly misses.
Not so much there.
Instantly misses the bus stop and lets Maestro right back through.
Oops.
Maybe he didn't realize he was going to be blue flagged, and then he saw him and got really scared.
Probably, maybe, kind of. Here's your racing excuse, Smart Pipe, use it.
We're providing you one right now, just go.
Yeah, just go with it. So we have some blood going on, clearly. Or Smart Pipe just executed his cheat code, as we go right back down the grid, as Nemad is still struggling to control his car out of a turn with a little bit of power band issue, and that allows Moose to be right on his gearbox coming through Eau Rouge, Radillon, and onto the Camel Straight. He'll pick up a huge tow and probably have a chance to overtake, maybe into the turn right there.
It should. It all depends on your gears, though. Some people set their gears up anticipating being able to draft. Some didn't, and be faster at different points. It looks like, though, Moose
is
had his
basically
gears set up
clear.
to draft. Yeah, and pretty much DRS his way past.
Yeah, not really a chance for Nemedis to defend the position at this point. A high speed differential and maybe different wing stages as well, because that's a new part of open wheel racing as well. The wings actually matter. Some people set up their downforce package to be efficient on the Camel Straight, which provoked severe understeer, not oversteer, in most of the corners, which was a bit surprising. And some set up somewhere in the middle to be able to complete the rest of the track unhinged, sacrificed a little bit of top speed.
Yeah, the interesting thing that I found personally was the fact that using the same setup from practice, where I had pretty much chronic understeer throughout the track, using the exact oops.
Whoa, that is a fight for a second place between Mr. Bob and Jackie. Both lose the cars coming towards the bus stop a little bit and still side by side heading towards the start-finish line. And to Lasource, Jackie is a little bit behind trying to pick up the toe from Mr. Bob to attempt yet another overtake. Through Lasource, they're close. There will be an opportunity for Jackie onto the Camel Straight unless he wants to pass him right here, right now. He does not. Slots behind, and that's gonna be a very interesting battle coming towards the long Belgian straight. Basically nose to tail. Jackie looking for the inside, no space there, still stays behind. Will he have the inside now? He's still behind, jumps out of a draft to the inside. He has a bit of an extra speed. Is that enough to warrant an overtake right there? He is a little bit ahead. He should be able to secure the line. He does in a calm fashion, and JK is up to second.
Yep. Initially began with what I think was a smart move from JK. I think he saw the out of control Mr. Bob going into the bus stop and just eased it out to the outside so there wouldn't be contact. We might have to get a replay of that. We might not get one at all. Now let's see. Is this going to be a spinu? Crash it.
Out.
That is Smart Pipe having another encounter with the AstroTurf over there.
Yep. Now, interestingly enough, despite being quite Nazi-ish in other parts of the track, the quarter cutting admin didn't really care about you doing that in No Name, which I always found very funny. You could go pretty much as wide as you want and not worry. As we see the battle resume here between Ponchik and the lapped car. I guess if he's consenting to this, then fine, but
I think this is now the third time Smart Pop has overtaken Maestro.
yeah, something like that.
So let's see if he spins out again.
Smart Pipe did qualify third, so he has the pace to be among the leaders and slightly faster than Maestro on pure pace. And probably he doesn't want to just sit back and not enjoy the race. Don't know if Maestro consented to that, but he'll have to deal with it.
Jesus. Yeah, he has a gap to me of about 9 seconds. A gap to Trempale of about what is that? Well, okay, that just shot right up there. 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe just, hey, I'm here, you're here, let's just battle one another and just do this because I'm not going to get any positions or lose one. Well, definitely not going to lose one with my pace during this race or during the middle portion. Speaking of the middle portion, we're almost halfway through. Despite some early carnage and some spinners, not too much.
Oh, that's not good!
Ouch.
Ooh, F.
Oh, I think Potato is dead.
I think Potato is dead, and the I guess the baby shower gift for androgynous children colored helmet of Moose goes on by.
Yeah,
passing
our
two
team
cars.
is now completely eliminated.
I don't think that Rosgreed's racing car would have made the turn if it was another 100 meters away.
No, he basically choppered his way in there.
Yeah, he must have blatantly, or not blatantly, because that's on purpose, but very badly missed his braking point.
Oh, that's somebody goes rallycrossing over there.
Interesting decision there. Made it work in the end, somehow.
Looking for a retake right there. That's Carl BC 200, and both of them missed the turn and crash into each other.
Oops.
For crying out loud, people.
Just as I was saying, there hasn't been all that much drama in this race, besides the initial happenings. It all just goes to hell. Let's get a replay here. Trundling along, going to the club, checking out some hotties, going, hey, maybe I'll slide on in for a
And I think
surprise penetration.
I think he went completely airborne for a second there. Oh Jesus! Almost collected a car in the region. Okay then. And that's the onboard from Carl who did the penetration. Yeah,
What?
I think
What?
that was nowhere near.
I don't know what he saw there. I mean, even like that overtake on Moose wasn't even going to work. Like, I don't even know.
From a Moose's eyes, it's basically whole life flashing in front of him as the car flies by.
It seems Carl was just starting to get a bit bored and wanted to create some drama.
He sure did.
Which we can see here too.
He should have just waited till the post-race investigations. Funny intro there. Anyway, as we see some bad touch, as just that looked. Okay, I know that wasn't intentional, but just the way his car was angled, that looked intentional. Hey, you're going off track. Fuck you too.
After the Redwood bus stop, intentional or not, that's a bit too much. So the Toyota car gone rogue.
Well, I mean, that crash was the personification of the Toyota F1 program, really.
Yeah, it just has to break down in the last 2 minutes and it'll be the life of Toyota.
F.
Too soon?
Oh, we are never going to have to change the hybrid. Fucking idiots. Anyway.
And the minute of WEC is over and we are back to Formula 3.
that was your WEC Minute, brought to you by Peniston Oils. Peniston. We make sure
Go on. Keep digging.
We make sure that your pistons will slide smoothly through the boreholes.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And this is exactly why Matt did not have a career in advertising.
That's not the only reason. Nobody wants to see my face on some shit. Fuck that.
Face? The rest ain't too good either, mate.
Wait, how did you see those photos? Squid, have you been sharing shit with him?
Maybe.
Speaking of... Potato...
Speaking of sharing
Potato
things.
is not in good shape either, having encountered more grass at the exit of bus stop.
Yeah, I haven't seen a potato that off since the famine. Do
you have a Holocaust joke as well? While you read it?
No. Even if I did, what the hell?
Yeah, you tell me. Either way, back to Formula 3, we are officially halfway through in 3 seconds, and two of the baguette cars still battling one another. These guys probably happy to see each other. As Echo completes an overtake on Nemedis, that is for 13th place. The guys are close to each other, but nowhere near the top 10.
Was that a baguette joke, by the way?
No.
Happy to see each other.
No, but...
Anyway.
Yeah.
It seems like the race itself has settled down, really. The main bulk of the field is pretty much unmoved, but we have these little one-on-one battles going on all the way across the track, as we see Potato trying to recover from, well, what I can only assume was a mistake induced by my terrible joke, battling with Virion, who had a promising start to the race, it must be said, and then a few incidents trailed him back down the field a little bit. He's actually, pace-wise, quite a bit faster than we've come to see him in the previous couple series. Same with Trempale, has to be said. Both have taken to these cars better and improved their performance.
Trempale is pushing nicely, still building a gap, small but a gap to Maestro, and keeping in 5th place. Piker is, I was about to say long gone, but then the timing app decided to go nuts. So we have no idea where Piker is in relation to Trempale right about now.
Yeah, that timing app has been going nuts the entire time. I've been watching, trying to see if the Trempale Maestro battle is going to unfold any. They're gonna get closer, and depending on which instant I look at that, they're either 15 seconds apart or 0.5 seconds apart. So I guess is it the official Kunos app?
No.
It seems Trempale is definitely being aided by the fact that SmartPipe seems to want to battle with Maestro. It let him pull away. I don't know if that battle's still going on with SmartPipe, as we see someone pitting.
That's Viperion heading to pits. Probably some damage as well. That's why he was slowing down. He's gonna rejoin, I assume, behind G-Man, and we're gonna see if he's gonna beat Psychedelics, who also had a pit after his stop. And the answer is no, he's returning behind Psych. Well,
I was just gonna wait and let you dig.
oh, we're all digging then. Either
Pretty
way,
much.
Baguette still one after the other. Not really that much of a pace difference between two teammates, which is surprising in 21st century.
Yeah, usually one of them's a pay driver and one of them's a proper driver. In this case, well, they both seem to be fairly equal on pace. So what else is happening up and down the field, as it were? Sharkey and JK continue on in the positions they qualified in, with Mr. Bob and Piker behind, Trempale behind him. Ponchik having the battle with the lapped car, and we're going to see a replay of something.
Speaking of lapped car, that's him. That's Smart Pipe.
Was ist das? Okay. Well, he's able to navigate a straight. That's promising.
And he
And then,
catches the
oops,
curb.
no, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Whoa! What a save! That was not bad at all. He lost the car on the curb there in the S's and was heading straight towards the wall. I'm
Yeah, nice
surprised
save
the
there.
car managed to get out of there on the grass.
And that actually matters this time around, as damage is on.
Yeah, you want
Yeah.
to stay off the walls at all times.
25% damage. That wouldn't have been, well, in normal circumstances, that would have been terminal, but with 25%, he would have been able to continue with that. However, it wouldn't have, oh, it's never a good thing when you have damage on your car, let's be honest. Unless,
Broken front
what was it,
wing
Kimi
is-
that was faster with damage that one race?
Probably. Well, Kimi is mostly broken at this point, so yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. Valtteri always ends up going up his ass.
Well, if
There
it's
must
not
be
if it's not Valtteri, it's blue flags.
Yeah, or the team fucking his strategy.
Oh yeah.
Or not giving him a steering wheel.
What the fuck? I don't want the steering wheel. You the fucking, I don't know where this is. Yo, give me the steering wheel! Come on! I need to get out on the next check it onto the steering wheel.
And now that we turned off the accidentally started footage of Kimi Raikkonen at Baku Grand Prix,
I think they both lost it there, both the Danish drivers here, Navidus and Echo, just on different sides of the track.
Yeah.
oh, that's Neon Tiger trying to split two other baguette cars, and yeah, that was again nowhere near. As we see the replay from that, the Medis on the outside, that was
what?
another missile.
Yeah. It might have been a little bit nebulous what happened in the first turn on the first lap. I mean, yeah, that instance like that happened, but yeah, I guess that he was watching and trying to outbrake him and just brake a little bit later than him. It's good overtaking technique in general, but misjudged it, didn't quite time it to perfection, and well, slid off the track because of it. As we see a Rosgrease car locking up and somebody coming out of the pits. Is that Viperion?
That is a Bentley of Matt rejoining
Bentley.
after the pit
Okay.
stop. Yeah, basically the outbraking is a good technique, but you need to know the limit. That is a common driver mistake, trying to simply judge based on where your opponent brakes and brake later than him. But if he does his braking maneuver perfectly at the last possible moment, if you brake later, you're not gonna make the turn. And a lot of novice drivers actually lose their cars and plow into somebody just because of that, just because they don't take track into effect while trying to battle. Oh! As a Rosgrease car of G-Man, I believe. I don't see the number from
G-Man in the
here.
Yeah, it'll affect even people more experienced than just novice drivers. You really need to, as we're going to see a replay before I go on rambling of I think what G-Man experienced. Slow, yep.
Chest
A little bit
assault
slow into the S. Yep, and well, he went in slower than normal, and I think that he realized that and tried to pick up the pace. But by the time he put the gas down, he was already sliding. You need to, as you said, not only judge whether or not the other guy in front of you is braking perfectly, but you need to have a backup plan in mind. You need to know, okay, if we get to point X, I'm going to hit the brakes no matter what, and then try to creep it from there. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to pull off, especially in a corner where it doesn't have necessarily one defined line, because you could make the argument that you were going to try to take the other one. In any event, sloppily executed, but I mean, thankfully, again with 25% damage, both should be able to continue on relatively without harm.
Basically, we have less than 15 minutes to go in the race. This is where, if there are fights left, they're gonna start picking up, as drivers have less and less laps to complete the overtakes and get to the best positions, as top 5 is pretty set right now. Sharky is long gone.
Surprise!
Yeah, it's gonna be more battles through the mid pack, I guess, as cars are not that much spread out.
Well, as I said, it's a matter of not necessarily a lot of big battles or huge shifts for position, but just little battles one-on-one throughout the field, with the main body of itself staying the same.
And we have a baguette car on the pit road. That's Echo.
Hitting now.
Echo did not get damaged in that crash, did he? It wasn't Nemesis.
Well, Echo was involved in some sort of calamity. Maybe he just figured, well, might as well fix it and go for it now. He's down to 19th. He really doesn't have anything to lose.
Well, he is now down to 19th. He was battling Neon and Nemesis. That was for 13th.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Maybe he crashed off the screen at the end of a lap. Maybe that's what happened.
Possibly. We might not have seen all of it.
Yeah, Potato completes an easy pass on Nemesis on the Camel Straight and gets up to 13th position. Neon Tiger is his next target. Pretty much everybody behind the Nemesis bar, G-Man, who had a lot of adventures, have pitted at this point. So basically we have 14 cars that are still running clean.
I wonder if Nemesis has some sort of damage to his car, because he seems very slow. We've seen him get overtaken by a number of cars, starting with, I think, the Holy Moose, and he's, 18 seconds off the road now, so it seems weird that he'd be that far off the pace.
That is entirely possible. Oh my god, Viperian, that was not good, my friend. That was an attempt of a dive bomb into the no-name, and there is really one line there.
That was not a very respectful maneuver, gotta say. We're gonna get a replay of it here. Just minding his business, and then all of a sudden, surprise butt sex.
Yeah, given that G-Man...
It can be fun, but not in this case.
Given that G-Man locked up a little bit and went outside, there is just no space for two cars there. Simply.
Yeah. Nope, not at all. But, again, carry on, our wayward sons.
Basically, this is a fight for 17th position right now. Both cars have been in a couple of accidents, both continuing on. It looks like their cars are mostly intact. We're gonna see what happens next, I guess. 11.5 minutes left in this race out of 40. And I think we have a battle for 7th on our hands, judging by the live timing.
Yeah, it looks like the closest fight on the field is between us. God help us. I wonder how this is gonna go.
And Lasarth in GT3?
Don't
fuck you. Today on Somebody's Not Getting Invited Back for another commentary. Yay!
Oh!
Oops.
Viperian decided that circle is a terrible shape, and he decided to make his tires a little bit more square in this turn. And somebody is very quickly behind him. That would be Echo, I think.
Well, if we look at timing and scoring, then that would be Echo indeed. But then again, looking at the differential in times...
No, that's Echo. That's his car.
Yeah, but that's not 18 seconds. Is it?
It's about 5.
Fuck the timing app.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the timing app was saying 18. I'm like, no.
Well, we established this long broken.
Yeah.
At least it shows positions correctly. Speaking of the battle we talked about half a lap ago, here it is, two backmarkers racing cars about to go to war.
It's Russia v America. One with the emails, one with the lawyers. Bring it on.
Two drivers will have just under 10 minutes of time plus whatever's left in the lap to compete and fight for 7th. Maestro is quite some way up the road at this point, so probably not gonna gain much other than 7th. They have more to lose, knowing Lassath. Both cars can end up in the wall at some point.
God damn. It was a race that wasn't going very well anyway, considering my setup didn't load and so my downforce was all blown, and yeah, I was basically sitting duck on the straights, which we kind of all were, all of us who weren't driving the not GT3 Glickenhausen.
Yeah, it's...
or Glickenhaus? I don't think it's Glickenhausen, I think it's Glickenhaus, but whatever, it's a piece of shit.
Something German.
Oh boy.
As there is a lot of toe picked up, you're defending the inside line, which is preferable coming into the next turns. Side by side, this is not gonna go well. Basically the entire camel straight to themselves, as we see... oh, almost touching wheels at this point. No real battle right there, not close enough, and trying to play it safe for now. Still, 8 minutes is 4, maybe 5 more laps of racing left.
What more can I say? It's game on. Around the rest of the field, pretty much everyone holding station. We've only had 5 cars in the pits this entire race. Matt, Psychedelic, Vaporeon, Echo, and Sparkpipe. As we see a battle maybe going into the corner that I can't remember the name of right now. Pouhon, thank you. As we see, speaking of people involving themselves, blue flags! Honestly! Blue flags! What the fuck, Charlie? Get the fuck out of the way!
Smartpipe continues to be all over the track, going fast and then inevitably spinning out. This time he lost Maestro but gained 2 more cars behind him to dance with.
Yeah, basically, his one buddy went away from him and decided, you know, now I'm done with this, and so he decided to summon the other 2, who are much less amiable on the track to these kinds of shenanigans than Maestro, it has to be said. 7 minutes to go, about, as we go back up to Neon, I think.
Yeah, that's a battle for 11th through 13th between Source, Neon Tiger, and Potato Head drawn. Neon and Potato had a lot of adventures throughout the race. Source has mostly been clean, but not too fast, and he's currently ahead of these 2. Oh!
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 Oh dear.
That's the second time they collide in that exact corner.
Rip in pieces.
Yeah, this time Neon actually caught the wall and Blanchimon. That definitely did a lot of damage to his car. He's locking his tires into the bus stop, does not pit, continues on with the car and spins.
Continues on as relative.
Yeah, I'm not sure his car is okay after that shunt.
At the same time, there are only 6 minutes left, so I don't know if it's enough time to justify a pit stop.
Well, I mean, at this point...
Depends on the extent of the damage, and we see Smartpipe having another adventure into the wall with a tank slapper.
Yep. Just, try to take a little bit too much in there. I think his car is a little bit too pointy. It looks like he has either too much front downforce or something in his diff, maybe. Oh, something went up his diff.
that is Potato just rear-ending Neon. That is very strange.
Well,
This is
Neon,
on board from
did
Potato.
Neon let off the gas?
Looks
that
like...
seems a brake check.
How is Potato that... Because they were behind one another, and then all of a sudden...
It didn't make sense because Potato had to let off the throttle and he still clobbered him.
Yeah, he did let off the... What happened there? Was that looked into after the race?
No idea, to be honest. That was
I
weird.
don't remember. Yeah.
Another brake lockup. That is the battle for 17 still raging on between G-Man and Viperion. Viperion is still looking for a way through with 6 minutes to go, or just under that. Echo is stalking behind them, waiting for an opportunity.
Meanwhile, the gap between the 2 backmarkers cars is still 0.2 of a second. So, fun is being had all across the track. It is nice to actually see... Okay, of course, we're not going to get a battle at the front ever, but besides the front battles up and down the track, there were some problems in GT3 where you just get isolated cars and it was boring as hell. But it looks like pretty much everyone's found somebody to race, which is good and should keep things interesting as the season progresses. Except for Paul Ricard, because that track is just vomit-inducing.
Garbage.
What the hell accent was that?
Bad one.
Garbage.
That's
What's the French?
wasn't.
Le Gabin.
Le barabara.
As
Was that French Arab?
backpackers cars. Good fucking god. Soaring through Blanchimont, looking
boy.
for the inside, not gonna find it. Outside, switcheroo around the outside of the bus stop. Eve able to hold on, not quite. Still no pass done. Whoa, that was close. That was some.
I didn't totally shit myself when that happened in the race. Not at all. Nope.
I was in control of my car. Moose wasn't.
Somebody. Oh shit!
Oh, okay. Okay. That car is not fine.
That's a
That-
dead G-man.
Everyone is losing control.
That car currently is embedded in the wall and driver is stuck and waiting for med evac.
Yeah, it looks sort of, this was Monaco. Just
Oh!
Viperion? What's that?
Viperion got him in the rear. I know exactly what and that's Viperion. Wait, that's Viperion to the left. He also lost it. What happened
Hang on,
there?
what happened there? Are we gonna get? Here we go. Replay from
On board for
Viperion.
Hyperion. Just a light touch.
I don't know if people are overestimating this car's ability to bump draft. If that's what's causing these problems.
That didn't look like an attempt to bump draft. That just looked like G-Man got a little bit out of control, slowed down as we see a little bit of lag there. That also didn't give me code ground. I think a combination of the draft and then just being a little bit slow. People are just closing way faster than they think. That one was a little bit more on the edge, I think, than the one with who was it? Neon? Was
Neon
it?
and a potato. Yeah.
Yeah, Neon and Potato. That
that's
one looked
just-
really weird because that was some distance back before we had bad touch. Speaking of things that should never touch, where the two back markers are in battle. Still,
For what, third or fourth lap now? As we have another car, that's Neon Tiger beaten. Yeah, he had massive damage from that shunt and Blanchimont, and he's bitten for damage. Probably the car wasn't drivable at this point. He's gonna lose a few positions. He was 13th, I believe. He's gonna rejoin in 17th place behind Echo.
yep.
G-Man, who basically annihilated the wall, is in 18th. He's still not beaten. He is electing to basically ride it out and hope for the best. He's 18th. He's not gonna lose too many positions. Only Viperion behind him at this point. Smart Pipe is almost half a lap down compared to him. So
Yep.
just
The only thing though is Spooky Squid is catching up to the rear of us. Some of you will get that joke.
Spooky Squid.
You idiot.
Some of us will get that joke.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The battle between you two
Whoa.
is definitely allowing Moose to catch up.
Yeah, Moose was 6 seconds behind. Now it's just 3. He's catching up, but 2.5 minutes to go. Not sure if it's enough for the Moose. That's another look down the inside for the bus stop, but no move just yet. Matt is defending real hard everywhere. Gotta try to look for new way to pass, new routes, and so far with no success. The cars are definitely not holding back. A lot of side-by-side moments. Both drivers really want that P7, and the Moose is catching up. He's within 3 seconds now. But 2 minutes on the clock, that probably means 1 or probably 2 laps left in this race. Will it be enough?
We'll have to wait and see, won't we? It becomes a matter of at what point do we give up this battle because we risk more team points if the Moose were to, well, capitalize on a mistake from one of the two of us. It was a question that we had in our mind and we had contingencies for it. We'll see whether or not we have to execute any of those contingencies. As we go
have another
further,
battle.
yeah,
That's-
up further up the field or down the field or
Down the
somewhere
field,
in the
that's
field.
Matt and Potato Hedron for 13th place. Matt had pitted and now crawling his way back up. Potato did not pit, so Matt basically cancelled an attack, and that's what preceded it. We assume that's Potato in the bus stop, getting onto the AstroTurf.
Yep.
Hitting the wall.
Oh, front wing crunch. I gotta say, I really like the chrome on Matt's car.
Yeah,
really cool
I was about to say that Bentley looking fabulous.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, whoever did that, kudos to you, cause that is one mean machine. As it's being raced by well, Neon Apocalypse, let's say that.
Something like that. That's a diplomatic way of saying, what the hell has this race been?
I made this car, so that's how I'm diplomatic.
Yeah, I know you made this car. That still doesn't make it any better. In fact, that actually makes it worse. Because you generally have taste in liveries.
It was a request from Gunsis, so that should explain a few things.
Did you give Gunsis your energy?
I can neither confirm or deny, as we're about to run the clock down to 0 seconds, and that's gonna mean white flag waves over the circuit. Somebody using quite a creative line behind those guys. That would be Psychedelics. Oh! Matt loses it in the S's, and he's gonna hustle to rejoin, but he already let Psychedelics past. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin out of a gravel trap, and there's another attempted overtake. This car's taking the white flag right about now. One more lap to go. So, elbows out, and that demonstrate is gonna be one of the last chances to... easy chances, to overtake, really.
Yeah, it's gotta be all or nothing at this point. Well, that's one way of thinking of it, actually. The other way of thinking of it is, well, don't fuck this up and give Moose a position. Hold station. Just hold station, keep going, but...
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
We're never gonna do that. This is us, with Georgian on the outside, getting the advantage of a draft maybe a little bit, but is it enough? Nope.
Not quite, Matt. Stays ahead. Stays ahead.
Why are you doubting? You forget we know the ending to this.
Either
No,
way,
you are wrong. I'm right.
we actually decided to show the leader as he's about to win the race in a McLaren Honda, of all things.
The Sebastian Vettel complex rides again. The finger boy is up atop. Yes! Yes, he did not have the blue flag, the Vettel.
Okay, as Maina Racing Team also finishes P2, so we see two things that should never happen happening right there in the first F3 race of the season. JKA takes his car to the second, and Mr. Bob with a comfortable third place in that glorious Bentley Motorsport team. The second McLaren Honda, stolen from Gemini and driven by Piker, is gonna finish the race in fourth.
That's something else that should never happen. Two McLaren Hondas finishing a race.
Right, and Audi, who are in open wheel racing, that also should never happen. Trampel taking P5, and the car that in general should never happen, as you can clearly see there.
That face. Zoomed in on that face just at the perfect time.
And the battle between the backmarkers, that's way too much gap between the two coming towards the bus stop, I assume. That's finally Holden Station at the end of a race, as there is a drive out of the last corner, close but not enough. And Malter is gonna finish in 7th, followed by me in 8th, and Moose is gonna take 9th place. There is a battle raging on for 12th. Nimedas, who is down on speed, is chased by Potato for 12th position, coming through the Blanchimont. Potato has a speed advantage, but he also only has one corner to complete an overtake before the checkered flag. He's looking, he's still picking up some tow. They're coming towards the bus stop. Potato on the inside, he's gonna outbrake Nimedas. He does, will he able to hold it? Yes, he does, and that's a brilliant overtake in the very last corner to get 12th position from Nimedas. Brilliant stuff from Potato late in the race.
Yay, team points.
As Matt in second Bentley Motorsport car is finishing 15th after his collision with the wall on the last
He might
lap.
actually be 15th though, because Ponchik is showing 12th, so I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, as we switch to our race winner Sharky, who was never seen during the broadcast because he was never near another car. Complete and utter domination by the Brit yet again as J&J Motorsport picks up the first win of the season.
The biggest surprise of this century, and by that I mean we all saw this coming, what the fuck. He actually properly drives it into the pits rather than, well, people who are out there spinning tires or dumping clutches or rage quitting off into the distance.
As we see two
for much rabble and aggravation. Which was never used. F.
Yeah, that was an exciting first race as we are gonna see the result. Sharky takes the win. 16 seconds back is Jackie, Mr. Bob, completing the top 3. Biker Champale, Mass Show, Agent Paula Georgian, the Holy Moose, and Carl PC complete our top 10.
And then after that, we'll see as soon as the screen transitions over to the next group. I can't really fill the time anymore. What the fuck is this shit? I hate your ass. I hate your tits. I hate your dick. What the fuck? There we go. Source in 11th place. 1 minute 46 seconds. Well, 47 practically behind the leader. Potato Hedron in 12th. Namitis 13th. X Psychedelic X in 14th. Matt 15th with Echo 51. Neon Tiger. G-Man 197002. Viperion and Smart Pipe rounding out the field for this race.
I feel bad for him, Smart Pipe, since he had such good pace in qualifying.
Yeah, he really could have done something special with this race and taken the fight to the top 2, but them's the breaks when your computer, well, breaks.
I know that feel.
So who's gonna read this shit?
This is my job, I'm a guest.
Sharky in P1 with Jackie behind Mr. Bob, Piker, Chumpale, Master Project, Mulder, Georgian, Holy Moose, and Carl PC 200 make up your driver's championship. Surprisingly enough, because it's the first race, well, the points order that you see here happens to be the finishing order, as Amir does.
Yes.
Okay.
If somebody if somebody manages to catch the theme of the sponsors for this series, you're a good man.
Oh, fuck my life.
The rest of the
Also,
points out there is gonna be IndyCar's point system, so
Also,
everybody
that
gets
website
points.
is incorrect. That website's incorrect.
It's still alive. Till
We're not
September,
part of
I
it.
think. Nobody is. J&J Motorsport Station 2 cars in top 5, leading the team's championship with 82 points. Bentley Motorsport and Backmarkers Racing tied for second with 50 each. Audi Motorsport is fourth, followed
Audi?
by Audi, yeah. Maynard in 5th, Raspberries Racing 6th, Eau Baguette is 7th, Gachi Gunsis, well, Gachi basically in 8th, Apex Predator Racing with 2 cars in 9th, Team Rainbow Girls, which is basically Boost, in 10th.
Kalish Racing in P11, Kamari and Chips in 12th, and the Blue Flag, well, made up the Blue Flag in 13th. Also, we have a resident Swede. You don't need to say Aldi.
Sure. Either way, it was an interesting race with a big field, and next week we're gonna see more from Paul Ricard, and we'll try not to barf too much during this race. My name is Ilya. This one's Matt.
Hi, bye.
Bye.
And Squid.
Bye.
See you next time.